Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. The video today is all about this guitar, my Harley Benton CST24. Now, as you may or may not know, if you've seen the last video I did on this quite a while ago, this guitar does have quite a lot of sentimental value to me. But I wasn't really playing it that much these days. It would come out every now and again, but it just wasn't getting the use it deserved for being such a nice guitar. And I sort of identified why and realised that there were a few simple, subtle modifications I needed to do to it and a few upgrades. And this video is very much the story of those alterations. So let's crack straight on with looking at the first thing that I changed. Okay then, the first thing that's getting replaced are the tuning pegs. And I shall explain why. They're getting replaced with these Vanson tuning pegs. I've used these in the past and been very satisfied with them. Now, the pegs that come as standard on the Harley Benton CST24 have a 14:1 ratio, meaning that you turn the peg 14 times to get one turn on the actual tuning post. Now, that's perfectly acceptable. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that that's the ratio that come on standard Gibson tuners, so it's not exactly bargain basement by any stretch of the imagination. However, I've got 18 or 19:1 tuners on pretty much all of my other guitars, and you do notice a difference when you pick up the CST24, that it's just not quite as easy to fine-tune. And given that these Vanson tuners have an 18:1 ratio and are ridiculously cheap, about 15 quid, it just seemed a no-brainer really to take the old ones off and whip these on as an easy upgrade. So that's the tuners taken care of. The next thing that I decided to modify is purely a cosmetic aesthetic thing. Here are some details. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to fix, and this is purely a cosmetic thing, are the marker dots on the neck. These are advertised on the listing for this guitar as being pearloid, but on my guitar at least they look simply grey and plastic to me. So I was going to go down the route of drilling them out. You can do this. It looks pretty easy when you see it on YouTube, but I've never done it before, and do I really want to be attempting something like this for the first time on a guitar that has quite a bit of sentimental value to me? I decided not. So I bought these things here, which are fake plastic abalone stickers. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, they're not going to be very good. I've heard varying reports about them. They are apparently okay as long as you're doing something relatively modest like this. If you get these vinyl Tree of Life inlay fake things that you see on some guitars, they do look a bit fake and they don't tend to stay put as much because there's more surface area on them that your fingers are going to be disturbing as you play the guitar. But we'll give these a go and see how they look and how they perform. I'm quite open to the idea of these being consumable products. You know, if I have to put a new set on in a year's time or something, then fair enough. I'm not too worried about the fact that they are, you know, fake and just a cosmetic thing, because they are just a cosmetic thing. And to be honest with you, let's face it, this is a sub 200 quid PRS knockoff, so worrying about fake, well, let's face it, that ship has already sailed, hasn't it, to be honest. And I'll let you know, after playing the guitar for a while, how those dot inlay fake sticker things managed to hold up. Yeah, we'll come back to those. Okay, next up was a rather more serious thing that needed to be changed, all to do with how the guitar sustained and sounded. Here's what I mean. The other thing which needed addressing on this guitar was the presence of what's called a wolf tone. As you can see, it's an unwanted resonance created by the physical properties of the guitar, which manifests itself as a loss of sustain or dissonant overtones on some notes. Sometimes you may have noticed that your tuner is telling you that the guitar is in tune, and it's also telling you that your intonation is absolutely perfect as well. But yet, occasionally, maybe on a chord, usually happens on chords, some things just sound a little bit off, a little bit out of tune. This could be a wolf tone. My problem was the loss of sustain. It was happening at the 15th fret on the B string. And the first thing to suspect, and this is what I suspected at the time, was it was a high fret. So I dressed the frets and it was still there. So what can be causing it? Well, it's a wolf tone. It's basically something resonating on the guitar, and the frequency of that resonance is fighting the frequency of the note that I'm playing, and the two are kind of cancelling each other out. It was like the sustain was being sucked out of the note. One way to check if this is fret related is to tune that string down a tone and try it again, and if the sustain still disappears at the same place on the same fret, then you know you've got a high fret or something. It's fret related basically. But if it cures it, if the sustain magically reappears, then you know you've got some kind of resonance issue, a wolf tone in other words. Here are the waveforms that I recorded demonstrating this. The first one that you'll see is the guitar in standard tuning, and I'm bending the 15th fret D note on the B string up a tone, and notice how the sustain just dies away. Then you'll see me bending the same string at the same fret. The only difference is that the string is tuned down a tone, and notice how it sustains much longer. Okay, so we know it's not a fret related issue, it's not a high fret. If it were, then it would affect the drop tuned string just as much as it affects the standard tuned string. It is therefore some kind of resonance issue, and we need to fix it. How do we do that? Well, there is no hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, the best advice I've ever heard is add mass. Make everything chunkier. Which is why I ordered this bridge from Axis R Us. This is a direct drop-in replacement for the bridge which comes on the guitar. I initially thought that the bridge on this guitar was a Wilkinson bridge, but on closer inspection it isn't, and I honestly can't remember the listing for the guitar when I bought it, whether it specified it as a Wilkinson bridge or not. It probably didn't, I just made the assumption. But this definitely is a Wilkinson bridge, and let's look at the difference in weight between this and the original bridge. You can see here the original bridge weighs about 43 grams, 40 grams in round figures, and the new Wilkinson bridge weighs about 118 grams, so in round figures 120. I'm rounding up and rounding down here, but to all intents and purposes it's roughly 3 times the weight of the original bridge, and that's got to make a difference. Let's see if it does. Here is the waveform that I recorded using the new bridge. Again, same string, same bend on the same fret. Let's have a listen. And as you can see from this waveform here, showing both the old and the new bridge sustain characteristics side by side, the old bridge would die off at around about 3 seconds at that particular fret, and the new bridge lasts till just shy of 4.5 seconds. So rounding up and rounding down again, that's an improvement of roughly 50%. I would say that's job done, really. Let's move on to the next thing we're going to be adding to the guitar. And finally, we come to the pickups. Now, this guitar comes these days with Roswell Alnico 5 humbuckers in it. This one, when I got it, it was still being shipped with Wilkinson Alnico 5 humbuckers. And there's a little bit of a difference in sound between the Wilkinson ones and the Roswell ones, but basically they are, you know, in the same ballpark. And what I've noticed recently, I say over the past year or so, is that whenever I've picked up a mahogany set neck humbucker guitar and thought, my, that sounds nice, you know, whenever the tone has really kind of given me, I think, what James May on Top Gear refers to as the fizz, it has always had Alnico 2 humbuckers in it, from the lowly Iron Gear, what they're called, Tesla Sharks, right up to Seymour Duncan Alnico Pro 2 pickups. I'm getting to find that I prefer that Alnico 2 sound to the Alnico 5s. So I bought these on eBay, Vanson, just like the tuners, Vanson PAF Alnico 2 style humbuckers. I've used Vanson pickups before and been very, very satisfied with them, so I decided to throw them into this guitar. Now, I suppose the elephant in the room here really is that I have a relationship with a small artisan UK pickup builder, Pink Flower Pickups. So why am I going for these pickups on eBay? Well, I haven't heard from the guys at Pink Flower Pickups in quite some time. Back end of last year, they were supposed to be visiting me with a bunch of pickups for me to try, and you know, we were going to probably make a YouTube video or maybe even do a live stream or something, and that got cancelled at the last minute due to something cropping up at their end, and I've not heard anything back from them since. So, you know, I don't know what's going on there. I'm not going to go cap in hand to them and say, can I have some pickups, please? So I just decided to go with these Vansons. As I say, I've used them before. I've used that brand before, Vanson, and always been quite happy with them. Anyway, we're going to hear what the guitar sounds like quite shortly. But first of all, here's a bit of an overview of all of the modifications I've done and how it's all turned out. Right then, so here we have the finished article, and you know, it doesn't look too shabby, I think. You can see those phony abalone dots look, from this distance at least, pretty convincing. But what do they look like in close-up? Well, like that, and you know, even on close inspection, they do look pretty damn convincing, it has to be said. The other thing that I was a little bit concerned about with them was, would they feel weird when I was playing on them? And to be honest with you, you just don't notice they're there. Even when you're string bending directly over the top of them, they are so thin that they don't impede your fingers at all. Also, I managed to misplace one of them when I was putting it on, so I had to take it off, and I got plenty of spares so I could replace it. And let me tell you, once they're on, they take some real effort to shift. So that augurs well, really, for how well they're going to stay put. Anyway, moving on, let's have a look at the tuners. Here they are, 15 quid's worth of Vanson Grover copies, and they perform really well. Nice smooth feel, but so did the other ones, the old ones. The main difference here is, as I said, a higher gear ratio, which makes fine-tuning the guitar just that little bit easier, and they just feel like a quality product when you're turning them. Their quality feel kind of belies their price, really. The pickups, these are again another Vanson product, Alnico 2 PAF style pickups. We're going to hear what they sound like in a moment, and there's a quick look at them. I personally like the look of the chrome covers. It just lends the whole guitar more of an old school kind of feel, which is very much how I kind of play this guitar. It's not a shredding instrument, it's more of a old school blues kind of vibe I use it for. And finally, moving on to the bridge. Nothing much to say about this. There it is in situ. We've heard the effect that it has on the sustain and fixing that wolf tone. So yeah, that's what the guitar looks like. So there you go. That's what the guitar looks like, and that's what the modifications look like now they're being carried out. It's about time we heard what kind of noises this guitar makes. Now, if you are as much of a blues rock, classic blues rock nerd as I am, then from the chord sequence to this next jam, you're probably going to be able to tell which album I've been spending rather a long time listening to of late. Here's what the guitar sounds like anyway. So there you go, that is the completed modified Harley Benton CST24. I am absolutely over the moon with it. These Vanson pickups are incredible sounding. You know, for a 30 quid set of humbuckers, not each, for the set, they sound absolutely amazing. And what this guitar delivers for me now really is what I always wanted from it, which is a Les Paul-like sound for someone like me who isn't really that comfortable playing a Les Paul. Just years and years and years I've spent playing Stratocasters and Telecasters and other Fender guitars and Fender style guitars. It always means when I pick up a Les Paul, and I've owned a few over the years, when I pick up a Les Paul it always feels a little bit well, like I'm trying on someone else's boots basically. So each to their own. This, as I say, kind of delivers that Les Paul vibe in a more Fender player friendly package. So there you go, that's pretty much it for this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and give the video a like while you're at it. I will of course just mention that we have, and I can't find it, a competition running on the channel at the moment for an effects pedal. I don't know where it is at the moment. I've had to tidy up, so that obviously means I can't find things. Basically it's one of these things, a Zoom G1ON, and if you want to be in with a chance of winning this pedal, all you got to do is record yourself playing a solo. There's a video I did a few weeks ago on the whole topic of modes, and hopefully in a very accessible and understandable way. So take a look at that video. The link is in the description box below, as well as all of the links to the places where I bought all the bits and pieces on this guitar. Take a look at that video, download the jam track from that video and record yourself playing a solo using the information in that video. And as soon as this channel tips over 9,000 subscribers, I will decide who the winner is going to be. The pedal was very generously donated to Guitars for Good Causes by a viewer to this channel. You know who you are, thank you very much. And what's going to happen is, as soon as I pick the winner, I will make a donation to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, which is the charity we're supporting here. And basically they are a charity in Middlesbrough which provides palliative, respite and end-of-life care to children under 5 with terminal illnesses. A fantastically worthy cause that I'm incredibly proud to support, and incredibly proud to say that since May last year when I started this campaign, you guys have raised over 2,000 quid for them. So I am immensely grateful to you all for that. So as soon as this channel tips over 9,000 subscribers, I'll pick a winner, make a donation to Zoe's Place, and send the winning entrant the pedal. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. I will just round off, as always, by saying that if you would like some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition, then give me a shout via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson in this very room. Or wherever you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype. And whichever way you do it, your first lesson is free. So you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And with that, I'll bid you all a good day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.